All right, it's 6 o'clock. Call to order. Roll call.
Mayor Carroll,
Here.
Commissioner Deal, Commissioner Gonzalez. Here. Chairman Landers.
Here.
Commissioner McGee,
Here.
Commissioner Moore, Commissioner Taylor,
Here.
Commissioner Wilhoit,
Here.
Councilmember Blevins.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you do have a quorum, 7 members present, 2 absent.
All right, good deal. Approval of the agenda.
I will just request the ones that have requested to make withdrawals, and then the 2 of mine that,
Think it
if that's
be on
okay.
the new business and be
One
on
of them,
business.
yes, one of them is the new business, the first item on new business, and then the 2 text amendments, I'll be requesting withdrawing those. We're just not ready for those yet.
Are you requesting to amend the agenda to withdraw them, or do you want to withdraw them at the time of the?
If I can withdraw them at the time, and that way it just keeps the same, what is it?
Okay.
If you're talking right now, you're trying to take them off the agenda right now. We'll have to vote on each individually at the time. What is it you want?
Okay. Well, how about if that's the case,
Go ahead.
because everybody's racing to get out of here, how about we just amend the agenda by, and if the commission is okay with it, agenda item B, or actually that's planning, yes, it's
Planning
new
Commission
business.
decision B.
Yes, new business B, which is planning commission decision. That is the D&D subdivision, if we can, the applicant has requested withdrawing that one. And then, the 2 text amendments, E and F. Oh, sorry, D and E.
E and,
D
and
as
E.
in Delta and E as in Echo.
Gotcha.
Just the 3 total.
Just the 3, yes.
Make a motion to approve that.
He might be up there.
he actually meant item number 6, old business B,
Hey, Tom.
not
Is
his
it B,
business.
C, and E, or just C?
Is that correct, Tom?
The B under planning commission decision,
There's 2, he's,
Yes, sorry. So old business item B, which is, or, okay, no.
number 6,
Hang on.
old business.
Yes, let me slow down here. Okay, so it is under new business item B, which is D&D subdivision.
So it is not the major subdivision Doris Smith Estate.
No,
It is preliminary plat, major subdivision, D&D okay,
yeah, that's under new business item number 7.
okay.
So 7B, and then 7D, which is the text amendment that has to do with the mobile food vendors. And then the last item is 7E, which is the text amendment for the open streets. If we can withdraw those items.
I'll make a motion to approve that. Lisa?
Motion made, seconded, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. All right, approval of the meeting minutes from the August 28th meeting, and also for the September 25th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve. As they were written.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Constituent comments.
We do have one person signed up, Mark Quinn. Quinn. You have 3 minutes to make a statement about any item on the agenda when the clock starts, when the clock will start when you start speaking.
Thank you.
Good
Good
evening.
evening. This is in reference to the rezoning Richdale Lane, Fairfield Pike area under number 7, new business. We live on Brown Lane, and since the new construction has been going on between what's Richdale, or not Richdale, but Idlewood and the extension of Brown Lane, our yard's become a trash dump. Contractors just constantly throwing stuff. One day, just for nothing better to do, I counted 12 or 13 empty Bud Light cans between my house and Fairfield Pike on Brown Lane. Now, I went up there to their construction site, and there's empty Bud Light cases all over the place. I'm tired of picking up their trash. If this new group is gonna be doing the same trash in my area, I'm against it. We have a nice house, we have a nice yard. I don't need it turned into a dump.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, being there are no other comments, we'll move into old business. A, site plan multifamily townhome apartments, Amos Smith Road, tax map 78, parcel 41.14. New Doors Development Group LLC, owner, Wamble Associates representatives are requesting approval of a 66 two-story townhome apartment units on approximately 6.04 acres, currently zoned R4, high-density residential, located in Amos C. Smith Testamentary Family Trust subdivision. Townhome units are 2 stories with dwelling density of 10.93, what's the DU?
Dwelling unit.
Okay, dwelling unit, okay. And classified in the future land use map as mixed density residential character area.
All right. Thank you very much. Oh, good. I wasn't sure if that was gonna work. If you recall, this was deferred from September, Planning Commission meeting to allow the applicant to address some of, Shelbyville, Power's comments as well as the, city engineer's comments on the type of injection well stormwater system. This is, they've dropped the number of townhome units to 63. The density is still, and you'll see in my report as well as in my presentation, that we're still around the same amount of density per acre. Wamble Associates is the representative, and I have Sarah too back here, who can also answer any questions, because there were some comments that were from Shelbyville Power that were addressed later this afternoon. So, oh my gosh, this is tiny. But it's in the Planning Commission report as well.
That's a print copy if you want to read it.
Actually, I have it right here. So in our analysis of all the documents that were submitted, this is based on the October 14th resubmitted civil plans, the traffic study from August 2024, and then the drainage report that was October 14th. There are some comments within it, this document, or within the presentation, and within the plans as well, that still need to be addressed as under conditions. If you look in your report under the action by the Planning Commission, and you can see right here, a lot of the conditions can be addressed at a staff level, but since Planning Commission also doesn't like to see a lot of conditions in it, I'll leave it up to you on how to actually address those. But if you can look at the conditions, there's Shelbyville Power and Wamble discussed the retaining wall, which is item number 1 under the conditions. And then there's some items, because this is in a moratorium area, it's impacted by the moratorium. There's a limitation on the number of housing units that may be built. That's 29. So 34 of the housing units or the apartment units cannot receive a building permit at this time. So that was one of my comments, is it's just a plan distinction for number 2. And then as far as the construction of the drive, just to clarify and just make certain that certain items are in phase 1 that will allow for the functionality of subdivision. And then I didn't see what was in the coverings in our design standards. Anything that's visible from the public right of way requires clarification on type of materials, but Sarah might be able to answer those, and we can get those into the documents. The alternative, commission action is where I, offer an alternative route for the, planning commission. And then, of course, the planning commission can defer this until the resolution of these outstanding conditions. But I'll walk through the entire development just to, give you an idea of this comprehensively. There are some the post-procedural notifications are typically just things that happen after any type of planning commission, such as obtaining building permits and, things like that. So, under the analysis, this plat was created back in 2015. And it's still the same size, 6.7 acres, and it was rezoned to R4, which was inconsistent with our current, future land use map as well as the previous one. This is R4, so, let me just go to the comparison because I have the side by side of what's required as well as what's been provided. And they've met or exceeded what's been provided, including the newer standards on open space.
While we're there, Tom,
Yes.
let me jump in where I can. I'm gonna be a broken record from the last time we had these. Can you get to an overview of this plan? Anything showing us that's perfect?
Or I can show you the landscape one, or is this one?
If you've got the landscape plan.
Yes, I do have the landscape one as well.
Okay, either one. They didn't give us, I went through the plans today, the resubmittal, they didn't give us a plan with open space marked on it. They gave us some numbers. I'm just looking at that with my eyeballs and I didn't do a bunch of measurements, but I'm seeing a 6 acre parcel there. I don't see 2.8 acres of open space there unless you're counting every piece of grass that's got underground utility and side yard setbacks. We've definitely got in our definition of open space that setbacks are not permitted to be part of that calculation.
That's correct.
I don't know what they're calculating to get to 2.8 acres of open space, but.
Or the the water retainage, like where, because you can't include retainage either.
No,
They don't have
this is the injection well.
Yeah, we'll get to that. That's a whole other. Yeah, the usable open space I'm good with. They've got an acre there and I actually measured that. They're close enough on that. But the actual overall open space, I mean, calling that 2.8 acres, I didn't see any diagram that looked like, I sure would like to see one where it's marked, what's used
Where
in
it
that
could be hatched
calculation.
green, so you can see.
Yeah, hatched out so we could see. Yeah.
Sure.
Best I can guess, and you can tell me how you did the calculation, it looks like they took the overall area of the parcel, subtracted out the footprint of the buildings and probably the road, and are
Yes.
calling every other piece of grass open space.
I was not aware of the setback rules, so I will have to go back to recalculate the overall open space. Thank you.
Yeah.
And let me just look at what the, so the minimum open space that's required, which is 30%, you've, 78,930 plus or minus, square feet. You've got it up to 124,000, so it looks like there's a fair amount of room.
Yeah, and they may have enough, but it's,
Yeah.
those numbers didn't make sense with what the diagram looked like. So,
Sure,
I'd like to see it
and
matched.
I think that what might help too is in a next generation of code changes, because typically open space is usually greater than 7 feet. Some places allow for setbacks, side yard setbacks, but in it depends. Ours doesn't. Ours typically says that the setbacks are not permitted. The front and the sides are not permitted. There's others that allow for landscaping to be included in that.
Yeah, and this doesn't have to be usable in that 30%, but it does have to be open. So,
Can you show me where their, mail kiosk is and where any, I mean, and again, this, I'm gonna reiterate Josh's comment from last month's meeting where this seems to be bare minimal again, and it doesn't really offer anything to new citizens of Shelbyville. Like no play area, no clubhouse, no, nothing. Like it's basically plunks back-to-back housing with nothing extra. Like they're not considering the livability of somebody wanting to move to Shelbyville and not just having a place to hang their hat and lay their head. You know, you're gonna expect that children are gonna need to be here playing. There's literally no front yard, no backyard, there's no, nothing. It's basically back-to-back housing crammed in there like sardine cans. And it does not offer anything for children or elderly walking, like anything. Where are they gonna walk? Where are they gonna play? Where are they gonna?
It does have a
Yeah,
mulch.
I don't know. If this is- Yeah, I don't know
I
if this
mean-
is visible here, is that there is a mulch walking trail back here. There's a concrete, sidewalk here. They're providing the connection, cross connections through, crosswalks, to be able to go on the other
So
side.
the driveway's minimal, I'm assuming the cars are gonna be parked into a garage with no space for an extra car to park. Again, you're gonna run it, and very narrow, we're gonna run into the same issues that we had in the other neighborhood where most people don't park their car in the garage, garages are used for storage, and you have no place to park them, they're all gonna be parked along the road in the road.
Yeah,
Where you're not gonna be able to get emergency vehicles in there and out there. Where is the auto turn, module that shows that a trash truck can get in there and turn around, a fire truck can get in there and turn around, an ambulance can get in there and turn around?
Yes,
I don't see none of that.
so, this 100-foot, cul-de-sac allows for that turn.
So they, yeah.
That is within our subregs. They have, these aren't, garage, there are no garages for any of these apartment units, townhome units. They have all parking
Street parking?
along and all street parking. And maybe it's, actually might be easier to look, well, no,
I'm assuming,
that's not easier. This one's, probably.
I'm assuming our codes don't require the 1.5 cars per unit.
Yeah, we actually,
Parking area.
yes, we require 2, and then 8% for multifamily, which is, in here, yes. So 2 per unit and 8% and what was required, and then 6 ADA, which is usually incorporated into the number. But 143 was what was required, and they're providing 156. And yes, that was one of the items that was commented on at the, in the last month was this.
So they have 156 parking availability where? Along the streets?
Yes, let me just go to this one. Yes, so all along the streets there are 156.
Parallel parking.
No, just, not
Just perpendicular?
yes, perpendicular.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Which again leaves one way in, one way out? Like how do you get it? What's the width of that?
Yes, so each of the parking units are the standard 9x18. Oh, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Gotcha.
That one.
This one.
So that's what our parking regulations require.
Got you, 24 feet is
Yes.
the minimum, okay.
I'm supposed to be talking this way.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be looking up on
This
this.
helps, thank you. I can see what you're saying now.
Yes, and I guess we had that other drawing, last month's drawing was a little bit easier to read as far as the open space goes. And I did put all the, including access opening, what's the minimum, it's 30 feet. Here's where we're getting into, this was from their drawing for the phasing, and one of my comments was about phase 2, the 34 units. And it was one of actually John Freeman's comments too, is to make sure that you have the continuation from that in phase 1, the road and the infrastructure will be constructed, and the only thing that's not permitted are the buildings. That was my concern, and it's just not clear in here, and part of it, that clarification that's needed is because we have to speak by our drawings to other departments like building department, and we don't want to get into the case where something is, a permit is actually issued for.
So did you say only 27 are gonna be able to be built though?
29 units.
You said only 27 can be built. No.
Oh, sorry, if I said that, I meant 29 units.
Okay.
Yeah, 29 units is because this watershed area where the, is impacted by the moratorium, that is happening, the sewer moratorium on North Hillcrest. This one empties into one of the manholes that if this many housing, and not, this particular one goes to one manhole, and that will basically create another.
So we have to increase the effluent, size to be able to handle it all?
Shelbyville Power has performed a sewer study, and the reason why this had to be delayed a month is because the sewer study was finished in the second week of last month.
So I'm
And
not
that's when-
understanding why we're approving 66 when only 29 can be built, and at that, that's probably gonna be taxing.
And then,
Mr.
yeah, so,
GD, to address that? Okay, Mr. Chairman, if I can.
Yes, go
If
ahead.
you'll recall, on the moratorium, we're not stopping people from coming and getting their approval. If they
Okay.
want to apply. They just can't build and tap on.
Until
We went, yeah, I know it's been a while, but we went all through that, and I spoke quite a bit
Yeah.
to folks at the state, spoke to a lot of people in planning.
Right.
And we feel like we are legally required to continue to review and give them permission under the law and our regulations as it stand. They just can't build.
Okay.
yeah, and there's one way that Shelbyville Power was amenable to, doesn't necessarily have to be this way, but there could be a deed restriction on those remaining units to let people know if this property is sold, that there is a moratorium that prevents that. It's a little bit kind of an extra step. In my comment, in my staff comments that we'll get to Lambo tomorrow, after this meeting, is that that the clarification is done within the drawings. You know, that not only are the phase two just a different level of gray, or even just a different, not a hatch,
Yeah, no,
but
it should be faded
dotted
out.
lines.
It should be faded out.
Uh,
It should be dotted
but-
lines are faded and faded.
But also the note added to it,
Mhm.
to the drawing, so that when it becomes before permit, it's clear to whoever's gonna be looking at it
Yes.
after me.
Absolutely.
That's the critical
It should be
reason.
clearly noted
Yeah,
as future development and faded out with.
Yes,
That's
and that was the reason why, in my, staff report and in, on the slide, that these are technical items that, you know, really could be handled at our level, but it is up to the planning commission on how they want to address it. Because from what I understand with John Freeman, and Sarah could probably, concur with that, is that the relocation, there were a couple items that John Freeman was concerned about, and then Will Owen, he commented, after reviewing it again, is the proximity of I'm gonna have to turn around no matter what, this retaining wall that is close to, this retaining wall that is close to the right of way. And yeah, Wamble, was amenable from moving it back a little bit, because it's the same thing with the footing,
Yeah.
proximity to the water line.
Yeah.
So they're willing to do that. They're willing to, plat any kind of easements and.
Just to refresh
Yes,
my
ma'am.
memory though, Ginger, if we go ahead and approve this, is the city then bound by us?
Sure.
We have a certain
Right.
amount of time, do we have a certain amount of time to provide the sewer for them to continue their development?
No, ma'am.
Or
No.
they just banking on the fact that
No,
at someday they can build the rest of them?
no, because we can't control it. We can't control Shelbyville Power. We can't control the state of Tennessee
Okay.
putting that down. So what that means is the view, a legal view, is that these people should not be punished for the fact that there is a moratorium in place. So they can come and get their plans approved. Their vested rights that they normally have to follow, once y'all sign off on something, that 3-year clock starts to run.
Right.
So their vested rights under what state law is right now would be told. In other words, the clock does not start running when you pass this. The clock on vested rights will start running the day that moratorium comes off.
Okay,
And so then the 3 years starts.
okay.
So whatever, and what it helps is that we know that there are gonna be code enhancements in the future, whether they're stricter or not strict. It just basically puts a a marker in time and they'll just be.
It
based
allows
off
them
of
to
today.
build it according to
Yes.
today's
Yes,
rules and then not, and then 3 years after the moratorium's listed.
yes,
That's correct.
yes.
That's what that does.
But the current, like for the current phase one, that's 29, their moratorium, I mean, their vested rights start right away, right, for that?
It's my understanding that Shelbyville Power says they can tap on, is that correct?
That's correct. That's
Yes.
correct.
Theirs
The
start right
29
away.
That would be
and then-
correct.
Okay,
Yes.
got you, thank you.
I've got a question on the injection well. Do they have a permit? Yeah.
I don't believe a permit has been obtained yet. They were looking to get some type of approval from the city first before having to do the permitting through TDEC.
The reason I ask is I drill wells for.
Yes, yes.
And I know the injection wells is not a slam dunk that you'll even get it. I mean, maybe, but maybe not.
Yeah. Have you?
I've gotten at least one, and I know Danny Womble's been doing these for probably 30 years, so I'm confident that we could get the permit.
And if they don't, then it'll be a site plan amendment and it's approved. Because otherwise there has to be some way of doing this, so.
Do we have another injection well in the city that, I mean, this is a fairly new type of stormwater system, isn't it?
Not legal.
No, we're only looking at the legal ones.
There's some I know.
It wasn't you, was it?
There's some I know, but I don't know that it was on the up and up.
I
Yeah,
mean, I'm just, and that's maybe the way where his question is going. I'm concerned about approving a project that requires a TDEC permit that we don't have.
Right.
And if they don't, whether they get it or not, I mean, I'd rather they had it. before we- Is it possible to get it before?
Well, I just.
yeah, so that's what I was wondering.
The stormwater pond is actually sized to not overflow at the 100-year level, so the injection wells are more of a redundancy.
Oh, okay, so it's, I guess, a just-in-case measure.
Yes.
So instead of having an overflow,
And there's an emergency
sector on
spillway
it.
as well that was requested by the city engineer.
There's one.
There was an emergency overflow structure as well
Okay,
added, so the pond has about 6 inches of freeboard on the 100-year storm, so it should have 6 inches of.
yeah, and Will, who was concerned about it last month, he went back to Wamble and reviewed,
Yeah.
the actual technical aspects of it, so.
We're not to the motion part yet. I'm leaning towards a motion to defer, and if we do, I would prefer that we get that part reviewed by Will, that this would work. If the injection well doesn't go through, that we would accept the stormwater system without it, that it would meet our standards.
Do you typically, I guess, do you typically get approval from local level before you go to the,
We've started the application process, but it's kind of.
It just takes a while, okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Do you know what the time frame usually is on
A
something like?
month to the last one we did.
Okay,
So basically, it just comes down to, we're gonna let them build 29 now, and get vested rights on 37.
yeah, yes, on 34. There's a total of 63.
Oh, okay.
Yes, this is just reiterating what the concern was, and it has to do with, just because you see the vertical part of it doesn't mean that there's not a footing, right, Dawn?
We did move it, we didn't.
Yes, I understand. Yeah, John called me up and told me, so.
Let's just make sure that all that is not included in there when they're using the green space.
Yes. And then, Amos Smith is a local road, so there was, from the traffic impact study that was done, it's not impact anything off-site. So there were no off-site improvements for this one, and, Will concurred with the document, so.
Actually, a good area for that.
Yes. Landscaping requirements, they did put in all the buffering, wow, I'm gonna have to turn around again. On this side is a lower density land use. On this side, you have the R4 apartments as well.
Where was the mail kiosk again?
Mail kiosk is
Up there at the
My
circle,
light just went out, is up on the north.
up in the north
northeast
where the
corner.
circle is right there, and they have the parking spaces up there for them. I think that's what I see, is the parking spaces.
Yes, you can see it up in the northeast corner, just at that angle, where you see that little angle piece there. South of that angle, southwest. Yeah, so what they've done to meet the standards, they've broken up the units as well as staggered it, to give it some diversity there and visual diversity, but what people will experience really will be at the boots level. Not necessarily see it the way we see it there. There is no requirement for, well, I can't use my pointer anymore, but near the entrance of it, the only area that is really visible from the public right of way would be those 4 units that are on the western side, corner in this particular picture. I don't know if it's actual west, but plan west. And then as well as that southwest corner, that side corner. So those are the areas that are critical that the design standards really apply. The remaining part of it, they have a lot of freedom.
But those 4 units are actually backyard and, are they not? Circle that goes
Yes,
around?
they are, actually, I don't know if they're front loaded or not, or front entry. Actually, I think they are, because I remember talking about that you actually
And it looks
walk
like there's a
behind
fence or
it.
something that's coming along the back. Right?
I can,
So they'll see a fence, they won't see a,
yes.
I believe that's.
Yeah, and if you look at the, let's see, this one's a little bit, maybe easier to see. I can go back to, yeah, so that's where Amos, there you go.
Oh, it's
This
a
one's a
walk.
better one. So you can see the proximity from, Amos Smith to the actual entrance into the. There was no, when we first met with, both the property owner, William Vaughn, as well as Wamble over a year ago, there was, and if I go back to the overhead, down to the southeast corner was, part of all the discussion, but, there's issues with sewer service on that side. And so the R4 was a little bit easier to develop on this side. So that's why you don't see any cross connection. There was just no opportunity for it. Was that property to the southwest, that larger tract, only one house is permitted on there. And it was because of failing and extending the sewer from the south, all those lots that are fronting on Amos Smith. There's no opportunity to extend it unless the house is demolished. Couple houses demolished, maybe.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to defer for 1 month. I'd like us to get those 5 resubmittal conditions cleaned up. The additional plan showing the open space, and then either get the TDEC permit or get something from Will that says the city will accept it without an injection well.
She needed more than a month. Did you say you needed more than a month?
A month should be fine.
Okay. I have a motion.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Roll call.
Mayor Carroll,
Yes, with the deferral.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Chairman Landers,
Yes.
Commissioner McGee,
Yes.
Councilmember Blevins,
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Wilhoit.
Yes.
That item has been deferred for 1 month.
All right. A, rezoning Ridgedale Lane and Fairfield Pike, tax map 69, parcel 8. James D. Trollinger, trustee, James D. Trollinger Trust, owners, Lee Adcock, representative, is requesting a favorable recommendation from the planning commission to city council for the rezoning of an approximately 57.56 acre vacant parcel currently zoned as R2, medium low density, residential zone district, R3, medium density, residential zone district. Parcel is located classified in the future land use map as mixed density residential character area.
We're actually, we missed one item, which is the 127 Brown Lane under old business.
You go back to B.
The other B.
I thought you eliminated B.
What's the other B we
B.
eliminated?
Yeah.
That's what I was asking a while ago, which is both Bs, and you said yes. I eliminated it, so, okay. We'll back up. Major subdivision, Doris Smith Estate, creation of 2 single-family lots requiring extension of public facilities, tax map 69, parcel 71. Charles K. and Doris A. Smith, owners, Northcutt Surveying Incorporated, representing or requesting approval of the creation of 2 single-family lots from a parent lot totaling 2.3 acres, zone R2, medium, low-density residential, and classified as a mixed-density residential character area in the comprehensive plan.
Okay, so this one, heard last month, the issue is the extension of, fire protection is unable to be made. It's easier to see what they're actually trying to do is to subdivide, the western portion into 2 residential lots. The fire protection line is located 500 feet to the east of this property, and 500 feet measures to the south east corner of his house. So there, the last month, planning commission approved deferring it for 1 month to obtain any type of cost to extend it. I spoke with a realtor on this, that, he thought that the property owner might come in today to request withdrawing this application. But because they're not here and they cannot meet that requirement, they haven't provided that other the cost for or a letter of credit, then the application should be denied.
I'll entertain that motion.
I make a motion to reject the application.
Motion made, seconded, roll call.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Councilmember Blevins?
Yes.
Commissioner McGee?
Yes.
Chairman Landers?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Mayor Carroll?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilhoit?
Yeah.
Thank you. That item is denied.
Okay, I'm not gonna read it again, so it's the rezoning on Richdale.
All right. So this is currently it's a vacant parcel that's been used as agricultural. It's currently zoned R2, 57.56 acres. The requested rezoning is to R3. And it is actually consistent with the mixed density residential character of our comprehensive plan. There is infrastructure there, and I think within the John Freeman's comment, he discusses what would occur if there was any type of relocation. Let's see, so this has been agricultural use for as long as, before 1992. Because my staff report is a little bit more detailed, and it might actually be easier if I show on this one while we're here. But to the west, you have the R2 size parcels, and the applicant who are here, they can answer additional questions as needed. They're planning a single family development. So this won't be a duplex development, which is permitted under R3. They're looking to do single family, which is matching the, which is matching the land use characteristics surrounding it. My comment within my staff report just noticed that the lots are a larger size. It tends to be a little bit more compatible to the west. To the south, you have those larger, more estate-sized lots, which is just slightly, I don't know if there's going to be any need for consideration on how close the housing would be within this development because just how large the buffers are. But that was my comments within the staff report. But in essence, this substantially meets all the requirements for rezoning. When it comes to when it comes back, or when any type of development occurs, they'll have the traffic study, everything to show what's impacting off-site. And if it's okay with y'all, I'll talk about some of the other aspects that they're working on, which might help to understand the fuller picture of it. The angle-shaped property to the north, which is both actually the long sliver to the northwest along the bypass, and then that angled piece are both owned by Susie Cartwright. There is a annexation request that you heard it in the pre-planning committee meeting, some of us has, that they're trying to obtain a connection out to the bypass from this development. When this first came up and we reviewed the concept of it, staff was supportive of that effort of connecting to the bypass because it'll help alleviate a lot of the Fairfield Pike as well as create some more internal connections.
That's gonna be tough, that's a pretty steep hill right there.
That is, yeah, it's at the
Like,
bottom of the hill.
you're going into a mountain.
It's at the bottom of the hill or the top of it? It's right at there's enough sight visibility from
I
that.
see, yeah, well.
Yeah, because, the concept we're playing around with was further to the west for the access, but it just won't do from a visibility. You need then close to 300 feet, along the bypass.
So
But
it's my
that's,
understanding that that was previously approved as a development way back 10+ years ago, I think. So
there
they're
is a
looking to
drawing of it.
Yeah, they're looking to resubmit like what was previously approved and expired, or they're gonna do something totally new now?
I don't,
The layout is very similar. The previous plan was an R2 zoning.
Yeah,
The layout is very similar, but, is not identical to what was done
I
before.
see the need in.
It's not R3. Could we not recategorize it to a high-low or something? No?
no, R3 is medium density. We have a R3A, which is a medium high.
Okay.
And that's where it starts getting into R3A allows for duplex and triplexes, multifamily. And that's where you get kicked into the other types of.
And is that in the same area as the, can't remember, was it Claxton Estate?
Claxton, yes, it is in the same area, a little bit to the south there,
The
Brown
open
Lane.
area there on, yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's more southwest. My pointer doesn't work anymore, but, just above Jim's head, almost directly above,
That's the little corner.
that's Claxton Estates. Yeah, and that's on Brown Lane, yes.
All
So,
of the development around it is R2 right now.
Yes.
that's correct.
And the
yes.
only entrance to that is off of Fairfield Pike onto Richdale.
That's correct. And that's why they're trying to do the other access off of there. If they're unsuccessful in that part of it, there's gonna need to be improvements, along that road because.
I've always understood that they were gonna try to connect that through to Idle on the other side and come back the other way.
Let
That
me
was
just
my
go back to
impression.
the,
That was my impression when that was originally, like, there was some plan to connect it to the south into Idle Acres or something like that.
I see Idaho
That
Acres
could have
just
just
the tip
been
of the
rumors,
side.
but.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure about Idaho Acres. That's a tough one. It was just a comparison of the different zoning, and since they're doing single family, which is 7,500 square feet is minimum lot size, that's about 25% greater than, or higher density, I should say, than, the R1. You see that, what the gross densities are that are highlighted. The gross is 334.31 for an R3 in single family. And that is gross because I always knock off probably about 30, with the TVA lines in there. And it might be a little bit more than 30% off of that number.
So Tom, if you would, just to summarize, the reason for R2 to R3 is what? What are they gonna be allowed to do in R3 if they can't do it in R2?
They're both single family. They're both single family. It's just, one of them is higher density single family.
Right, density.
Yes. Let's see, so this is a mixed density residential area, which, does allow for the R3 medium, density residential. New services required, as part of this approval, and John Freeman did provide his comment on that there is, water and sewer that are, accessible in that area.
I would like to point out that,
You want me to go to a slide?
no,
Okay.
just the fact that it is all R2 and the character of that neighborhood has, so what, to answer Ginger's question is, one is 15,000 square feet per lot and the other is 10,000 square feet per lot. And it changes the character of the neighborhood completely when you do that. And I just don't, I feel like we're already cramming in a lot into Shelbyville everywhere. And everywhere we have back-to-back high density everywhere. And we are losing character in the areas where we currently have character. And if you give into this, that you may, okay, yeah, it's single family, but they're still smaller lots. It still changes the, the character of the neighborhood, the walkability of the neighborhood and how the neighborhood currently is characterized.
Sure.
And you're spot zoning it at the back of the neighborhood where the rest of the neighborhood is all R2.
Well, if I can clarify what spot zoning actually is, because I think that's, I know that it
And maybe
appears
it's
that
wrong
way.
use of term, but.
Well, no, I just want to say that, usually where people get into trouble with spot zoning, because you can actually do spot zoning out of convenience. But in this case, it is actually consistent with our adopted plan. So in that case, and that's why in my report, I always refer back to, in this analysis about, going back to the future land use plan. Because it does say that the character areas are R3, and certainly, I understand your point, about the changing of the character of the, area, because you have the, more R2, well, actually, none of the houses to the west directly adjacent are, R2. Their lot sizes are larger, and that's why I pointed out in my report that
Yeah.
that's more of a, I guess, a suburbs, because it's about 2 acres, and then the ones to the south, just the southwest portion are more like
Dense.
state level.
Yes, but that's what I'm getting at, like, obviously around the corner, you see there's smaller lots and over there to, off of, what is that, court up there, it's a little bit smaller, but you're coming into a dead-end cul-de-sac and you're extending a dead-end cul-de-sac. And with that extension, you should continue the character of that particular run regardless of what's going on around it. Because just if you, right where your red line is, like the red line comes in, that's a dead end cul-de-sac. You're extending that dead end cul-de-sac with you should maintain the character of what that whole road is feeling like as you're coming down into that neighborhood. So you have denser to the north, denser to the south, but along that whole road, you're coming into an area where the lots are larger, just completely right adjacent to it. And then that ends into a cul-de-sac. And what you're doing is you're extending that cul-de-sac. It gives you that extension of an existing neighborhood. And you're changing the character of the existing neighborhood.
Sure, and so I understand what you're saying, because the requirement in our subregs is that they're going to have the stub on, well, it looks like 3 sides. Actually, they're connecting down to the south. I think that one's I can't tell from this image, but there will be stubs for future development, and it'll have the temporary cul-de-sacs. And certainly, and that was what I noted in my report about those edge treatments, because of the vacant lots, they're just vacant farmland. But the one to the west and the one to the south, during the development phase, there needs to be consideration of those. I don't know if the ones to the west are, those side yard setbacks look like they're probably about 10 feet. I mean, they look like an R2 type of
There are
setback.
the 10-foot.
They just have longer lots, so they have a bigger backyard. And maybe in those areas, things can be done to mitigate for that. And I don't know if I specifically wrote that, but that's, in some cases, yes, there's mitigation. I mean, in my comments, the R1 and R2 are substantially compatible. Yes, they are a little bit more dense, And there are ways to buffer or to, do edge treatment that might help. But I know that in evaluating rezoning where there is no concept, then you have to think about in terms of the highest use for it. So.
To the south of this project is our property. Ours is 4.5 acres.
Yeah, yes, I calculated.
And that means I might have a row of houses behind my house.
I calculated, I analyzed all of the properties along the south and dimensioned those out as well as the ones to the west to see what the average density of all the properties are. And the smallest one is about 100,000 square feet on the south side.
No, we're chopping up that whole neighborhood, because even the Coral property, which is showing is empty to the south right there, is getting ready to be tiny little homes, tiny little lots, right next to the neighborhood that already is tiny little lots there
Yes.
to the south. All that's gonna be tiny little areas, and so all I'm saying is you're in a neighborhood, like that particular neighborhood has a character that you're getting ready to chop up.
Yeah, and I'll have to say that, that, I mean, I didn't, whether we like it or not, this is what the city, the US representatives as well as city council approved this, map, that this was and classified it as a mixed density residential area. Now, I know that this is a developmental guide, so it's theoretical, so it's not regulatory, so, I understand that, but it is that it fits, all I'm saying
I got it.
is that it fits within our adopted plan.
Fitting doesn't mean it's appropriate.
I'm gonna jump in as well. Yeah, I'm similar to Dylan. I've got a couple concerns about this. I like,
Do you want me to go back to a slide or anything?
you can if you want to the overhead map. I mean, I like, and I've seen the bigger concept of the commercial and the bypass that we're thinking about it for.
Yeah.
Long term for the city, that's good. This is at the very edge of the city's utility footprint right now. We're increasing density at the edge of our footprint, which is gonna put us straight on the infrastructure all the way back down the line. You know way more about planning than I'll ever forget, than I ever will, but I do know the little bit that I've spent in classes and stuff. Good planning is high density on the core. You continually get sparser as you go out to the core. You're going to the edge of our service area and increasing the density for no reason other than to get more houses in the same number of acreage.
And let's,
You've got R2 there already. It could be developed as R2. This is more of a council discussion that obviously we'll have to have when it comes for a vote there. But I'm not sure as a city, this is the direction we want to keep going in. Back to North Main Street, traffic in the afternoon, if we continue to put higher density on the outside of our city, at some point, we're gonna be like Murfreesboro, you're gonna get out on Main Street in the afternoon, you gotta sit in traffic all afternoon because we put too many people in too small of an area. We're a rural area for a reason. We want to keep some of that character while still growing at a reasonable.
And if you noticed in our, or in my staff report, the things that I analyze is more comprehensive in terms of, is a plot or is a parcel ready for development?
Yeah.
And I can only convey to you what is in our regulations, which is how I base my recommendations off of.
Right. So this is the point where we can make that decision, because if we rezone it, at that point, whatever's allowed in the zoning can be done. On a rezoning, we're not held to, and our attorney can.
One of the things I just wanted to point out, and this is why I asked you a while ago from a density standpoint, that the planning commission needs to remember. Right now in R2, this is true, Tom, right? They're not allowed to do a duplex.
R2, that's correct. There's no duplexes.
When you rezone this to R3,
Yes.
they are legally allowed to do a duplex.
yes.
Yes.
Whether
So
that's
that's
their intent or
why
not.
you just need to know, when
Yeah.
you change this law, this is what, it doesn't matter what they tell you today.
Right.
They are legally allowed to
Right.
do that. So
Yes.
It might be
just wanna
telling
make
you
sure
one thing
that's on
today,
the
but
record.
that doesn't mean a future developer
But-
will come in and buy it and do something different.
Yes, but I want to point out that a duplex under R3 is 15,000 square feet. So it's double what a single family is for this. So even though, and that's why I highlighted that even though you have, because I didn't know what it was gonna be, so I put the duplex gross density as well. You still have the same number of dwelling units. It's just a different size.
But if we don't rezone it, the number of dwelling units on this parcel is 250. So we're allowing a gross increase of 84 houses in the 7 piece of property.
No doubt, no doubt.
That's the
It's a
discussion.
25% increase.
And I also want to point out that this road dumps right out into the school zone of Cartwright Elementary. So literally, as soon as you come off of Richdale Lane, you're right into the school zone, which is already backing up with what we got. And we already have additional other neighborhoods planned that have been approved. That's going to congest all that with no ability to widen that currently.
Would you like to speak?
Yes, go ahead, Lee.
I don't have the phone now. And mine's not
Keep it
working.
small.
Do you want me to put it on one? So our plan is to build, if we can get it on there with the TVA stuff, and we've got a layout here. The rezoning is the first step before I even purchase the property. I don't own the property, but it's a not a restriction, but a,
Easton?
it's a contingency of mine
Oh.
with the owner, that if we can't get it rezoned, then I'm done. But
You're here doing your due diligence, trying to figure out what you can.
that's correct. But we went ahead and done a preliminary plan, a concept plan is what we done, brought it before everybody here and so that they could see what we plan on doing. It's 156, not 300 and some odd. That is the concept plan that we've all pretty much agreed on. The one thing that I wanted to speak about is the folks that are here that say it's going to be right behind their property. There is a stream buffer that goes through there, a stream that we can't build on. So that's going to separate us quite a bit from those state lots that you're calling out there. You didn't have this, so you couldn't understand it. So, but this property right here is where they live. So there'll only be the most of 2 houses. That's TVA.
Yeah.
So with the stream, so you can't build, we can't build anything in this area. It's going to be complicated.
TVA is going to allow you to do the road over top of their,
Underneath.
The road is, but, and this is the back of the lot.
yeah, and they're not going to be able to do anything with that. They're going to only be able to do anything with that little quarter right there.
We can't,
This area is going to be useless to all of these lots right there.
So it may be helpful that, under the current density, the gross density is 250.7. And what's in the concept, because of some of the constraints of the site, is 156.
yeah, with the TVA lines,
And the reality is, we won't even get that many.
no, absolutely not. We won't,
I think the holdup is that even though you plan on doing this, once we rezone it and he decides not to buy it and somebody else comes in and buys it, they have the ability to put in duplexes and do a whole lot more damage to the neighborhood.
Well,
is there a way to get around that?
I don't know. I don't know if I would call duplexes. And
I mean,
That
the
will-
higher
okay.
density in the area in general is going to be overwhelming. We already have so much coming already in that area. Again, traffic studies have been done for what's already been planned, but now you're planning additional into the same school zone, which kids already can't walk to school.
I can help you a little bit. Another contingency of ours is
go to the.
if we can't get the right of way to go, we've got the right of way agreed upon with Ms. Cartwright. We have to do the traffic study to be able to meet with TDOT, to show TDOT what we're doing. They will then take the traffic study and allow us to manipulate where that's going to go out on the 437.
I thought we were trying not to have that, exits on 437.
She already has one.
Yes,
The whole point.
yeah, there's actually one, two,
She
you
has
can see that little snake on the east side, there's one there. And there's actually also another one on our other property, and that is something that, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
but
that's right.
That's one of the
Because
things
I know
is
that in
that
a
they
previous
can
meeting
be.
of ours, we discussed how TDOT does not want us having
Additional.
okay, but
Yes.
there's already one there.
Every landowner has one access
Yes.
as a part of 437.
Okay.
Where that is, that can change.
Yes.
TDOT may allow them to change where that access is.
Yes,
And if they're gonna develop it, the access is gonna get bigger.
and during the discussions on the corridor study too, that access opening, depending on where developments come on either side, they may shift around and they will have to be widened for whatever purpose.
So basically, you need the higher density to be able to squeeze a little bit more in due to the holdups of all the other improvements, like the TDA and the environmental issues that are going on.
So,
I get where you're coming from,
so
but
if we've talked with Susie, Susie's good, we've already, have the applications to rezone that from ag. We actually did that. We split it into two.
Yes, I saw it.
Two lots.
Yes.
Two tracks. So, we want to put in the 50-foot or 60-foot, I think is what.
60 foot, yes.
To be able to, two things, to be able to get a little bit higher density in our subdivision, and two, Buck and, Will have both, blessed it. Like, if you can get this done, we would be so grateful to help alleviate a lot of the traffic over on Horse Mountain Road and Fairfield Pike. It'll go straight onto the bypass and go out each end of town. So we're trying to help. But,
can we help with that?
You're not far off with your concept plan, but man, I would take a stab at it with 10,000 square foot lots. I mean, you've got more than half of them. You didn't do a chart there, but I was just looking at, I mean, more than half of your lots are 10,000 square feet already. I think you can get there in the R2 and still make this a profitable development.
R2's 15,000 square.
No, it's R2's 10,000.
10.
Yeah, so most, I'd say, what's your number? Do you know how many of your lots are 7,500? It looks like
I don't know.
half.
I remember, the RT
We also, we did have an R2 concept as well, but I don't remember that number.
Has anybody said anything to Shelbyville Power said about stretching the, infrastructure and everything out? That's out the far edge. Have they said anything about it? That was gonna be a problem, or have you talked?
John, there's a brand new 12-inch line, water line that ran through there, crosses underneath 437 to get to Stefanski's, R3,
No, his is putty.
but, dense,
Okay.
very dense. So there's a 12-inch line, which, Tom alluded to. And then,
This is Shelbyville Power's, comments on it.
and then there are connections to, public sewer. It's actually dead ends at the end of, Richdale.
Yeah.
As the sewer for
Yeah.
for this subdivision. So
Yes, they raised the road for that.
everything has passed the sniff test to this point, with all the
Okay.
public folks.
All right, any other questions?
Did I answer your question?
All right, I'll entertain a motion, yea or nay?
This will be favorable or unfavorable.
I'll throw one out there. I'm gonna lean unfavorable. I'll make a motion for unfavorable recommendation.
I'm gonna second that.
All right, motion is for unfavorable recommendation. Roll call.
If you agree with an unfavorable recommendation to the city council on this item, you will say yes when I call your name. Commissioner McGee,
Yes.
Councilmember Blevins,
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Will Hoyt.
No.
Mayor Carroll,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chairman Landers?
No.
Item does pass with 5 yeses, 2 noes. We'll go to the city council with unfavorable recommendation.
Okay, we're skip D, we'll move to C. This is a final plat, major subdivision, Ridgewood Estate Phase 3, Avalon Way and Ridgewood Drive, tax map 79, parcel 7.05. Ridgewood Development LLC owner John Stefanski, representative requesting the approval of a major subdivision final plat from the planning commission for 34 single-family lots on approximately 5.27 acres. In phase 3, partial currently zoned planned unit development, future land and use map classifies the partial as a Union Street corridor character area.
Okay, this final plat matches the preliminary plat. They're all, consistent. It is consistent with the Union Street character area as well. And John did submit an as-built. But, I will say that I reviewed the subregs and, even though as-built should be submitted with, a final plat, it can be done during the recording phase, but John did submit it. So we received the as-built on 10/16 and it's under review right now. But this is the 34 lots. All the staff comments were addressed except for the as-bills.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
would you ask them to please step outside? I'm having trouble hearing.
Okay,
Okay, so, they met all the requirements and staff is recommending approval with the one condition that an as-built be, reviewed and approved. I think they're waiting on a letter of credit. That's the only thing that's holding up before the plat may be recorded.
okay. Motion on this.
Motion approved.
Motion made, seconded, roll call.
Mayor Carroll?
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Chairman Landers?
Yes.
Commissioner McGee?
Yes.
Councilmember Blevins?
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilhoit?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we're skipping E, we're down to F. Adoption of the 2026 Planning Commission meeting schedule. Planning staff is requesting review and adoption of the Planning Commission of the 2026 Planning Commission schedule that includes submission deadlines and review comments and timeframes.
It essentially matches this year with shifting of the dates.
Just remember what, November and December?
Yes,
It's the two.
yes.
Yeah. And I guess you went up to the third Thursday on both.
Looks like
Tuesday,
Go back to-
or you go,
Tuesday for planning commission meeting, because I made the mistake of going on Thursday.
okay, so you went to the Tuesdays before.
Yes.
Okay.
And there, Columbus Day is not a holiday for us. Found that out this year with pre-planning.
What?
Can we make it?
Go ahead. You didn't know that, Tom?
No, I didn't know that one.
Are we making a motion to approve?
Yes.
Okay, make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion made, seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Staff reports. Administrative approval.
All right, we just had one administrative approval, and this was on Hummingbird Lane, where the address doesn't match up in 1400 Union Street. When you Google it, it doesn't take you to this one, but this is 1400 Union Street, and just right. They're doing a lot line shift in order to provide driveway to the house to the north. So that one's pending approval right now. Um, this is what it looks like. And then I'll just keep going. I just wanted to show some of the impacts of the design standards that we're having, as it relates to landscaping. You can see the landscape lot. This is a really nice example they finished up, over at Cooper Steel, as well as over at James Ferris property. He did a great job on his. But, yeah, and eventually we'll start enhancing those as well. But I just wanted to, at least, most of the time, unless you go out there, you don't get a chance to see it, so. And then I'll tell you about the problems. I left the problems for the end. Yeah, here's my favorite. Accessory residential dwellings. I'm gonna have to put a little bit more specificity in the residential accessories. And you can see what happened here, and it's happened in a couple of places where the accessory dwelling is just basically another house on a property creating a nonconformity. So we'll have to be a little bit more specific in these in terms, including what the size of an accessory is, because we've had some that were done in the past that are larger than the house, which is not quite accessory there. And then just a quick update on.
May I say also, in some subdivisions, you've got a set of standards.
Yes.
That says that if you build any outbuildings, replace any outbuildings or any of those things, that they have to be consistent with the structural integrity of
Oh,
the
yes,
house
yes.
itself, if it's brick or whatever, those kind of things
Character.
like.
Yeah.
Yes.
In these situations like this, how do you set that standard where that can't be larger than the house?
I wrote one for the town of Wartrace,
Okay.
and I basically put a size in there that it couldn't exceed 900 square
Couldn't
feet.
exceed a certain amount. Okay.
And because 900 square feet was the typical square footage of a house from 1950s.
Right.
So, and it tends to be, most of the houses are around 1,000, 1,100, 1,200. But we'll have to take a look at it in terms of here, because it might be that number has to be a percentage reduction, that it can't.
I think something that whatever the square footage of the house was, accessory could only be some certain percent of that. Like
Yes.
30% or 40, or
Yes.
whatever you want to say.
And that's another way to do it, where you have maybe a 900 square foot house. It shouldn't be the same size. It should truly be accessory, but there's other things about this that is really not as clear, like where should the drive be, or the access, as well as, even though ours says that you're not supposed to front face it, this particular one, they demolished both houses, or actually the existing house to the right is a brand new house. There was an existing house there, and it was built like this by one of my favorite people, but we won't name him. Actually, I better not say that, because he knows that's
So
his
you have a
property.
900 square foot house and you build an accessory house that's 1,500 square foot, you're basically, the 900 is your accessory building, and you built a whole new house.
It's in the zoning ordinance, the way you talk about accessory structures, they're supposed to be subservient and
Yes.
to the
Yes.
house, and that's always been meant to,
Yes.
and usually interpreted by courts as being smaller.
Smaller,
Yes.
right, and so
Or
codes typically define accessory as a certain percentage.
Yes,
So,
and we.
like 10% or 20% or whatever.
Yes, and personally, I just like having that clarification, because it's kind of a little bit more, it's easier to understand than if you said accessory structure. So that if I'm not looking at it, if maybe somebody in the building department, that they understand the same thing I understand, which isn't always the case.
Now, we are talking about accessory structures or accessory dwelling units?
Accessory dwellings. Yes, and these are detached accessory
Detached
dwellings.
mother-in-law suites and stuff.
Yes.
We can get more details.
Yes, I did a really detailed one, including how to access it, what the parking should look like, and including design standards within it too. So, so we can actually put design standards in it as well. You know, that they don't look so, you know, you don't just put a corrugated metal house up.
Right, so they should match the character of the house,
Yes. Yes.
not just a barn that's plumbed there and you add some plumbing to it.
Barnuminium?
Well, I was thinking more like the sheds, you know, like
Okay.
I have shoe sheds that live in the she sheds.
Yes, yes. And then, I just want to let the planning commission know that we are working on a, brownfield redevelopment grant. It's not the same one as the, TDEC one. This is the one through South Central. And what we're identifying is priority area for development. So these are environmental assessments for that. And I'll have a little bit more once we start, identifying those properties and we can get access to.
It's an identification grant, right? What they call an identification grant, it's just basically
Yes.
to identify sites within the city that would be eligible.
And then, yeah, so once they're able to do an environmental assessment on there, what it does is it just, offshores the liability for any type of contamination on there. It'll basically be you're taking steps to remediate it and.
If they
be
go to
punished.
the VOAG program with the state,
Yeah, yes, you get registered, yes.
would they have to register? I mean, this is just to identify sites and.
Oh, no, this is.
All this does.
No, this also, does the assessment part of it. Oh, yeah, yes, when you say identify, it identifies first the contamination, and then second part is how to remediate for it.
Those are separate stages.
Yes, those are separate steps, and then the identification part comes first. If they don't have, number one, they'll have a number two. And then later on, there's remediation funding to help clean up as well.
All right. That it?
That is it, and I need your signature on a few documents.
All right. We'll stand adjourned.
So, but I hear you have the legislator that takes the planning.